One.
Now with our view, introducing Elizabeth, Whoopi, Joy, and Barbara.
Good morning and welcome to our view. Today we are discussing a hot topic, Election Day. With all the celebrities promoting Election Day with Vote or Die, Rock the Vote, and I Vote to Party, this election is an exciting one. The propositions in each state are neck and neck, while our presidential election is a close one as well. The main questions America seems to be asking for answers to are the economy, health plans, military, and something dear to our hearts here at our view, women's rights. Today, our special guest seems to know a thing or two about politics. Please give a warm welcome to the President of the United States, Barack Obama. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
How are you doing? I know you've been busy with the debates and traveling around the U.S. I'm sure it's been difficult. Has it?
It's been fun. I love going around America, seeing my fellow Americans. The debates have been interesting. I've learned a lot about each debate, as well as...
Speaking of the major debates, what happened on the first debate with Governor Romney? From the first debate to the last debate, you represented yourself much differently. Actually, a lot better.
In the beginning, it was difficult, trying to get back to the swing of things, but I think it's safe to say I have the hang of it now.
That's good to hear, President Obama, but let's get down to the nitty-gritty. We're in a recession, we owe trillions of dollars to China, and everybody's out of work. What do you plan on doing on the economic situation?
This country is in a terrible recession. However, there are many plans in act to help us Americans come out of it together. First would be the American Jobs Act, a $447 billion stimulus bill I introduced September of last year. This would help lower the unemployment rate. This piece of legislation includes an extension and expansion of the payroll tax, along with investment infrastructure and education. And let me just say, before I took office, the economy was losing 800,000 jobs a month. Now the country has seen 32 consecutive months of job growth and a 5.4 million new private sector jobs in a month. My plan is to bring back jobs to the U.S. for companies that ship jobs overseas and creating incentives for business to bring jobs back to America.
Well, of course, that's a great idea. Now with these new jobs, we can spend that money with the taxes back into the economy. Such a great idea, President Obama. Next, we're going to discuss current events, healthcare, and women's rights.
I'm Barack Obama, and I support this message.
A major problem this country battles is a health form to live by. People of America title you a socialist for presenting the Affordable Care Act, better known as Obamacare. How will Obamacare better this country's health?
I feel strongly about the Affordable Care Act. I believe that this is the most effective way of providing the necessary health care to the largest number of uninsured Americans while reaching the middle-class families who cannot afford it.
1, 2, 3.
Excuse me, but I've had full body arthritis since I was 15 years old, and every health insurance overcharges me. My bi-weekly and medications are very expensive, and I had to get rid of my health insurance. I don't want with the Obamacare to put me in debt again.
I understand you're doubting the Affordable Care Act. However, say you or your children were to fall ill. If you already have health care, thanks to Obamacare, you personally won't go into debt. Not to mention, each insurance company will be required to provide clear and understandable information.
You're a liar. Obamacare puts this country even further in debt. If I want health insurance, I'll buy health insurance. I live in America for one reason, that's to be free. How about you discuss the war on terror, bringing jobs back to America? What about the troops? Why don't you bring them back home? Where's the money going towards? The election? If you're planning on winning the election with Super PAC money, think again, Mr. President.
We will win this election, not through Super PAC funding, but through our grassroots following and devoted volunteers that work tirelessly to get the word out. Either through phone banking or going door to door, we have the ground game advantage. For future elections, I would hope we can get campaign finance reform where donors must be identified and elections cannot be bought, especially in the House or Senate.
Well, seems we got, views from our audience. Now, our view would like to know, Obama, what is your view on women's rights?
I believe women deserve equal pay and better health care. Women will have free access to birth control. I myself have even appointed Sonia Sotomayor and Elena Kagan to the Supreme Court, as well as signed a bill for equal pay. I believe this election is crucial to women's rights, considering Governor Romney has very different views of women's health care and workers' rights.
Well, certainly Governor Romney's, views aren't so terrible. I believe he's great. His views are what we need in our country today.
Elizabeth.
That's a great thing about this country. We are entitled to our own opinion. For lack of better words, our view, with this said, I believe Governor Romney's views on women's health is absolutely out of the question for a country with so much to offer. Women should have the right to choose their own birth control methods.
President Obama, I could not agree more. It's our bodies, our opinions. The government and our democracy should not be making choices for women across the United States. And personally, I thank you for giving us the opportunity. Coming up next, we will go back to answer our audience questions, as well as talk about President Obama's view on military, tax, and specific wars and conflict. Next.
Go.
Thank God for Obama's Affordable Health Care Act, because I just lost my job, but I can still get my birth control.
Angeline Valera? Excuse me, do you have anything that I don't want to get pregnant? So is it possible if I could get something for that? I have a boyfriend. We've been really active lately, so.
You mean birth control?
Thank you.
Anytime. I'm Barack Obama, and I support this message.
Earlier in the show, we had an audience member ask for your view on the war on terrorism and bringing troops home. I must say, you said that as president, you would end the war, yet you have only ended Iraq. What about Afghanistan?
That's a great question, Barbara. As you know, I spoke loudly against the Iraq War when President Bush was in office. Ending the Iraq War was a top priority when I was elected, and we will accomplish our goal on October 20th, 2011. While Afghanistan continues to be a struggle in the Middle East, we remain hopeful for a peaceful resolution and helping the Afghani people stabilize and rebuild their nation's security and country.
Now then, President Obama, your military spending shows a budget cut for 2013. What's that all about?
Well, Joy, our military, the best in the world, has and will always be important to me. The great American men and women fighting for our freedom will always be at the forefront of my mind. The reduction in budget is very, very minimal. We have recently ended a major war, enabling thousands of men and women to return home to their families, and not requiring them to be away from their country and out on foreign soil.
Well, President Obama, this has been incredibly informative. Thank you so much for being a part of our view. Don't forget to go out there and vote on November 6th.